Good evening, everyone. So, where to begin? Right now, there are some fires raging here, just about an hour from here in Camarillo. Just knowing safety for all. This morning or last night, there was a huge shift in our country, energetically. And again, wherever you stand, the shift is there. I woke up to text messages from friends who were scared, angry, disappointed. And I knew yesterday what my job was, what my work was for myself. And that was to try to maintain a sense of peace, a sense of love. Because when I'm not in that space, I can do no good for anyone else. It's not easy. Sometimes it's hard work. But I had this sense for a couple of weeks now that this is where I was heading. You know, this morning in Sangha, we talked about this Benedict monk, 98-year-old man, named Brother David Steindl-Rast. He's a scholar, and he's known apparently as the grandfather of gratitude. And I didn't really put two and two together about where we would be this morning and when I worked on the material, but it turned out to be the perfect content because it opened up space for conversation. It opened up space for being present. He asks this, or states this, if you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. I'll say it again. If you learned to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. It came up during the conversation and during the shares that this isn't always an easy thing to do. You know, we spend a lot of time in the past. We spend a lot of time worrying about the future. But what if we just stayed here today? What if we could just root ourselves in the next indicated step? And this isn't to shut down any call to action or any hopes or dreams for the future, not at all. But just to recognize where we're at in our minds. Are we drifting? Are we drifting to things that we cannot control because they're already done? Or things we cannot control because they haven't happened yet? So we bring our attention back to this day. What if this were just the day? What if this was the only time I was granted? How am I spending today? Two of my friends actually texted and said, you know, I don't know where to start. I just don't know how to start the day today. I was making my chai, and I was, again, in this like kind of surreal space of where is my head today? And what came through me was the following. We start by connecting to each other, by knowing that our work is to continue showing up in the world as loving, compassionate human beings. We start by being thankful for all the beautiful people in our lives and for our health and our spiritual community for our loved ones. We start by taking a deep breath and then another and another. That's where we start. We start with the recognition of that which we already have in our lives. We have so much that things we don't even recognize sometimes, things we take for granted. Readily available drinking water, heating, air conditioning, places to live, I mean, there's so much to be thankful for. And this is, again, not to disregard any emotions or feelings that are coming up that are uncomfortable or negative as we think, or angry. It's just to remind ourselves that we can tap into this space of love, the space of abundance, the space of prosperity, the space of I do not lack. Thank you.